Hi there. It's another beautiful day on the Branch Road in Nova Scotia. I'm Sandra Rogers, and this is my garden blog. So yesterday we were planting cilantro. So that's the cilantro that we planted yesterday. Nothing is going on yet, okay? So virtually nothing we can see is going on. So inside the seeds are starting to come alive because they're in heat. You want to keep the seeds warm, not too hot, and don't let them dry out. So I've wet it thoroughly, and I would recommend putting a cover on it of some sort. Now, that's the benefit of using those recycled containers, is now I have a virtual little greenhouse, and it's perfect. Here, I planted sunflower seeds in these. I basically took the seeds out of the bird food bag that I've been feeding the birds and just shoved some soil in the egg shells after the eggs had been eaten, and I didn't even rinse them out. I just let them dry out, and then I put them in it because the inside of the egg will help the soil, give nutrients to the soil. So I just planted like I would anything else, and I don't know if you can see this, but you see this little fella starting, he's growing, he's got a pile on his head right now, and there's a couple other ones I noticed that were coming up. See that? So this is growing. There's another one there. See that? So they are growing. This guy's got quite a little mound on his head. Just kind of knock a little bit of that off there. But yeah, so they're coming up. So that is a really easy way. And it's the same as if you went out and bought little peat pots or whatever. And you just want to keep them wet because they need to keep wet. So yeah, there's where the sprayer is really handy. This is something too you can get kids to do. If you're looking for things to them, they're kind of like running out of ideas. This is fun. They can start their own seeds. So I've already had a little request on my blog to do something that people can do from home. Thanks, Brandy. So what I thought we should start with is celery. So when you're eating celery out of the fridge, when you get down to the very, very last little bits of celery, those can be planted and grow into a whole big celery again. So I'm going to show you that simple method. I've done this lots over the years. It's not my idea. People have been doing this for years. So we're going to just, none of this is really new. I'm just sharing what knowledge I have been introduced to and things that I've found that have worked well and that, you know, just are interesting ideas. So we're going to try it, and I'll show you the easiest way to do it. This is how simple this is. Basically start with organic celery. It's the best to use. You don't want to use anything that isn't organic. So start with that, and then we'll get down to the, once you get down to the little bit. So basically when you get down to this much, okay, so this is what's left. Don't pull off those little bits. Those will turn into roots. So just have a little container of water. I use these little containers, but you can use anything. And that's it. You just set it in water. I wouldn't set it in the hot sun because it's not quite, it's been in the fridge, right? So it's not used to being in the bright sun. And today it's too sunny. These are ones that I did. They looked exactly the same, all closed up and everything. A few days ago, maybe a week ago, I don't know, I'm losing track of time, you know how that is. And these little guys, look how good they're doing. So that's a little flower, but these guys were as small as the other guy. They're getting a lot of hot sun. I don't know if it's too hot maybe for them. It's very bright and they're not used to this. So basically you just want to keep it wet, keep like a little bit of water up over the roots of the roots. There's no roots yet. You're establishing roots. So you just want to keep the water deep and covering the bottom up a little ways on the plant so that it can start to grow roots. And once you start to see the roots growing, then this is what when I did this one here, I just put in, see, this is me reusing a container, plastic container. That was a mushroom container, I think. So what I did was I put a little bit of soil in there. I put the plant in, this guy was still closed when I put him in there, just like the other guy. It only, I don't even know if I put him in the water first or I just stuck him right in there, and I put a lot of water in the bottom. So I put as much water as I would if he was just standing in the water, but I put soil there. And as it dries a little bit, it's already in soil. So you just keep it watered really good, and then it's going to develop its own root system, and then soon you'll have plants like this. And then once it's warm, in about a month or so, we'll be able to put it right out into the garden, and then you'll get big celery stalks. And you can do the same thing. When I grow celery, I don't cut the plant and bring it in and eat it. I just pick off the large outer leaves. I just sort of like deadheading plants, only I'm eating it. So I just break them off and they keep growing, and they keep growing and they keep growing. Just like these are starting from little and then suddenly they'll be big. So it's pretty simple. I encourage you to give it a try. And, let me know how you make out. Post your photos so I can see how your celery is doing. I'm going to give you an update too on how my other little plants are doing. We'll do a little tour maybe outside. Now, I gave you a little image of it yesterday. It's getting bigger. It's got more leaves. It's starting to bush out. The leaves are getting bigger. I mean, it's doing pretty well. So I also recommend turning the plant. So you see how it's all leaning towards one way? It's leaning towards the light. So give it a little quarter turn each day, and then it will help the plant to grow more upright and make the plant stronger. So that's my little cilantro, and there is my oregano that I planted. It's growing. You see the various stages. Some of the seed is very small, or the little plants are very small from what I seeded here. And some of them are pretty big. They're doing pretty good. This is a slower growing crop than cilantro, you can tell. I mean, these were basically planted at the same time. Look at the size of these guys. That's why I suggest starting with cilantro. Hey, so I've been out assessing my yard because this is our first time actually seeing what it's going to be like. And it's all new for us. And I've noticed there's a lot of branches that have fallen off of our big elm tree that need to be cleaned up. So yard work is where we're going to start. Picking up and, chunking up large branches and making small piles and removing branches. So that's what we're doing on the branch road. That's where we're starting.